as the recruiting coordinator, let's talk a little bit. I've touched on it. We did a segment on a four-step process that you guys use. So everybody's really involved: the head coach, the position coach, the man who's in charge of that region from recruiting. Take us briefly through what process you go through when you recruit a young man to Notre Dame.
Well, it all starts off, when everybody, like we always talk about, everybody claims they're national recruiting. And if you look at most major schools that we compete against, they got a 80% or 90% of the roster pretty regionally. And then there's a few kids from across the country they recruit. When you look at our roster, it really is panning the globe for the most part. So we all have 6 or 7 states that are our primary states, but that's just the starting point. And you try to find as many good players regardless of position, regardless of what position you coach. You're just trying to find the best players in that state to kind of get the process started. And once you identify those kids, you evaluate them. And if you believe they're scholarship worthy and all the boxes are checked when it comes to social, academic, and all those areas, then you start to move the kid forward in the process. And then he immediately goes to the position coach. So if it's a D lineman, it would go with Coach Elston, and then he would get his evaluation. And then once we move past Coach Elston, it goes to the coordinator, it goes up to the head coach. So there's a lot of checks and balances, just like any company. When you're going through a process, you have checks and balances along the way, and then even if everybody likes the kid on tape, then you still have the other boxes that need to check. Is it the right fit for Notre Dame? And every school's different, and Coach Kelly talks about a lot. It doesn't matter if it's better or worse. It just, is it the right fit for this place? And as people know, Notre Dame is a different place than probably any animal on the planet. So the kids got to embrace what we're all about, and to flourish here, you really got to buy into what Notre Dame's all about. So we're always looking for that piece too.
Sometimes I wonder when you sleep, because not only are you a full-time member of the staff, and now you're the offensive coordinator. We'll talk about that in a second. You're the recruiting coordinator. How involved a responsibility is being the recruiting coordinator at a place like this, where you say you go coast to coast and Hawaii? I mean, you go to Hawaii, you'd go to Alaska if there was somebody up there you wanted to recruit.
Yeah, and thank goodness they don't play a high level football in Europe or some of the other places around the globe, because we'd go there too. We're fortunate because the Notre Dame brand name still holds clout everywhere, and we're fortunate that we're at Notre Dame. We have the resources to do that. It takes a lot of resources to go through what we go through recruiting. So we're very blessed at Notre Dame that we have the name and we have the resources to find a kid in Hawaii and actually do a good enough job recruiting them. But it's a daunting task. You learn every day. There is no exact science anywhere recruiting, and there's certainly not exact science of trying to weigh, do we go after this guy or do we go after this guy? Do we really think we're going to get this one, or we're uncertain, so should we take this one? And it's a fluid a situation, and it's fluid 365 days a year. You're always putting your heads together. Hey, what do we think? This kid wants to jump in the boat, but we're waiting on this kid, and you just don't know how the numbers are going to play out at the end of the day. And as crazy as it's gotten, without having an early signing date, which would clean a lot of the stuff that goes on that needs to get cleaned up.
I wish they would do that.
Yeah, no,
it's working in basketball quite well.
It way too much makes sense. Why not? When you say you're committed as a school, you stay committed, because schools drop kids just like kids drop schools. That's not as highly publicized, but it does happen. So why would we just not honor each other's commitment, and then you wouldn't have a lot of the things that shouldn't go on in recruiting that go on stem from you're waiting for the signing date to get here. So.
You are a national championship coach, won 2 national championships at Grand Valley State. Did your experience running a program, does that help you balance your responsibilities here, both running the recruiting and being a full-time assistant?
Yeah, I think it certainly helps. The experiences of being a head coach. Until you've sat in that chair, you can't even really explain it. And the biggest thing is, I think, living day to day in the world that we live in with the media and everything. People know stuff about things in recruiting before we know. Mm-hmm. It's honestly that true.
Got to be a little irritating at times.
Yeah, but
everybody's a reporter.
As you learn as a head coach, if you're a head football coach, you're in charge of everything all the time. There's going to be a lot of bad things that go on over the course of a year. There's going to be a lot of good things, and there's going to be a lot of things that are pretty neutral. And that's the thing you learn as a head coach. We're assistant in your little world, and if your little world's going okay, your life's okay, because that's your world. Once you put the head coaching hat on, there's just too many variables. There's going to be bad stuff happening, and you're always putting out fires. So you learn to hurry. There's no good news. There's no bad news. There's just news. And if you don't learn that as a head coach, you're going to be in an insane asylum in about 3 months, because there's always news so you just kind of learn to roll with the punches more. And, hey, this kid's in, this kid's out, this kid, some of these kids committed to 5 different schools before they end up signing with the 6. It's just the way it is. Is it right? No, but it's so if you live and die with every single moment from recruiting, you're never going to make it. Your lifespan in this profession will be very short. So you just keep doing what you're doing. You keep working as hard as you work, and, hopefully the chips fall your way off enough that you get the right kids in your program, and you can't worry about all the ratings and coming. I laugh at all the ratings every week because they got all the schools that are rated. It's all based on a point system.
And the number of people that you offer and recruit,
it's ridiculous.
You get more points.
So actually the people that are over committing kids, which
are going to be ranked higher,
is a whole different story that's not even supposed to be happening.
And you don't do that here. You can't do that here.
No. And so you look at the range like, well, you're ranked. I'm like, well, we've got 7 less commitments. If we had 7 more, as opposed to how good the players are. So the whole system is based on, if you worry about all that stuff, you go crazy. So one thing that the head coach transitions me good here is we just keep working, and we're going to close up today very quickly, and we're already working diligently on the next class. It's not going to be a week or 2 weeks. The rest of the world's going to decide, was it good, was it bad, which we all know 3 or 4 years we'll know if it was good or bad. The class has never decided next week, but we're not going to worry about it. We're working on 2013 because 2012 is going to close the books, and we're going to move forward and not even look back or blink about it.
And nobody knows more about this than you do, but there are 2 stars that end up in the NFL after their college careers, and there are 5 stars that hardly ever play.
Yeah, well, I coached at a Division II school for 10 years, and we had a lot of success. And we had a season where we had 8 guys in NFL camps, and BCS,
who were apparently deemed not worthy of Division I or BCS.
And not BCS, not even close BCS.
Yeah.
You're talking, there's a whole nother level of, mid-majors to low-end Division I to 1AA to Division II. I mean, you're Notre Dame, it's 7 rings up on the ladder. It's not even close. And there's guys still performing and playing great that had none of those offers. So that's why they're out there, and they never come back. What they should do is every 4 years rate your class from 4 years ago and say so-and-so, the 2008 class was actually this. Because look at this guy's first-team All-American. This guy's actually left early to go to the NFL, and he's an All-Pro. Yeah, he had 3 stars next to his name, but actually you didn't get justice for getting that kid 4 years ago because he came in. They never do that. So that'll be the next one they start doing, which will be more stuff piling on us, but that's the way it goes.
Well, and when you look at this class in the 2 years, when you take over a program, the reason there's change is because things weren't going well. When you guys came in, you identified areas of need, some glaring areas of need. Last year, the trenches, offensive, defensive line. This year, some of the skill positions on both sides of the ball. And when you look at this year's class and combine it with last year's class, there's a lot of quality in both of those classes.
Yeah, no, we're excited. We're excited with the kids we're bringing in. And the kids are excited that are coming in. The kids are coming here not only to get one of the best degrees in the country, but they're coming here to try to win a national championship. That's how we've recruited them, and that's their mindset. And some of them are 5-star kids, You look at scout.com, we've got, I think, the 2nd or 3rd most 5-star kids of anyone. That's one site, but you go to another site, it says
right up there with
so,
Alabama last I checked, yes.
But that's not the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star.
You don't rate it. I mean, that's great if somebody you want has 5 stars, but that's not what you're looking at when you're evaluating a kid.
No, we think Scott Daly is going to be a major part of our success here in these 2 stars because if you're a long snapper, the highest you can get is 2. I've never seen he's by far the best long snapper in the country, unanimous. If you ask 1,000 people that rate long snapper, he's number 1. He's 2 stars. So that actually hurts our class. So we got the best long snapper in the country, and Phil, everybody knows how important special teams are. Anybody that's watched any of the NFL playoffs knows that offense and defenses often don't even win the games. The special teams is winning and losing games, and now you've got the kid that unanimously is the best long snapper in the country, and he's hurting our recruiting class according to the experts, not according to anybody at Notre Dame. We couldn't be more jacked up that we got that kid here for the next 4 years. So it's just things like that you can't worry about. But it's fun for the fans. It's fun for the media. Our fans love it. I got a lot, and when I wasn't
we're on 7 hours right now, and people are watching.
When I wasn't coaching, I was following Notre Dame, and I was excited about it. And I didn't know anything more than anyone else did because I was reading it, and this guy's got this and this guy, and I was excited like anyone else that kid had a lot of stars next to their name. So I get it. But for us, we can't worry about that. We got to worry about doing our job and performing on the football field.
All right, now Scott Daly was in your region, so you were in charge of his recruitment. The fans have already seen his tape. They've seen his bio. Obviously, pretty good athlete, pretty good tight end as well. What kind of kid is he, though? What's his personality like?
He's awesome. He's a Notre Dame kid. I mean, he's well-rounded. When you think of Notre Dame, you think of well-rounded, you think of grounded, and you think of a kid that actually really does care about his future as opposed to caring about the next 5 minutes. He's everything you'd want in a Notre Dame kid. He brings some size to a position that's a lot of times hard to find size, and he brings some athleticism and toughness truth be told, Coach Elson needs a credit. I know. I mean, it's even this is a perfect example. I'm going to get credit because it's down or south, and I'm our Chicago recruiter, and that's 20 minutes from my hometown. But really, Mike Elson.
Well, it's part of the four-step process.
And Mike Elson recruited him, and as our special teams coordinator, and he diligently did his homework and knew that this was the best long snapper that he's seen in a long time. Not this year, but that he's seen in a long time, and really went out. And I was part of Scott and his family, and I was part of the process. But again, it's just another misnomer in the information process of who's doing what. We're all recruiting all these kids.
And this is a young man who's been going to long snapping camps for years. That is a growing field, but there still aren't that many guys out there who identified 3 or 4 years ago, you know what? I can get a scholarship doing this. I'm going to get good at it. Are there that many guys out there that concentrate as much as Scott Daly has at developing his skills as a long snapper?
No, and he's like any great player in any position or in any sport that they have the God-given ability, no doubt, but when you talk to their coach, that work ethic comes right along with it. Doesn't matter, could be a great basketball player. Yeah, he's got all the tools, but then he's the hardest working guy, and that's what Scott is. He was already the best around, but he still went to these things just to keep honing his craft because he wasn't satisfied, and that's as we know from we've watched many great athletes come and go. That's what it takes.
Okay, now you've been a head coach, so you've been in charge of everything before, so it's not that big a move, but give me your thoughts on switching to offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for this team next year.
I'm excited. I think one of the beauties of Coach Kelly, and he's done this a long time, and he's had success at a lot of different places, and he's been through different generations. We know the game's changed even from 5 years ago. Not only changed on the field with what offenses are doing and defenses are doing, but the recruiting game has changed completely, drastically because of multimedia and all the Facebooks and the Twitter and just how it happens with days like today. One of the things that is rare with Coach Kelly compared to other coaches is his ability to figure out where he's at, what that place needs, and not be so stubborn that he doesn't say, well, I've always won this way, so this is how we're going to win. And I think he's looking at his football team, and he knows what I think, or he's continuing to figure out what it takes to win at Notre Dame. And he's trying to get to the point where we're going to sustain it, not just get a quick fix and find a way to get 1 year and have a great one, but actually build this thing the way Notre Dame needs to have it built and keep it at a high level for a long time, and trying to put his resources in the right spots, and obviously he felt like this was a move that would benefit the team. I don't care. I just want to help Notre Dame win. I don't care how we do it. I don't care where he asked me to coach. I coach anywhere the man asked me to coach. He wants me to coach an offense around the quarterbacks. He has a comfort level with how we think because we have a long-standing relationship. He has a comfort level with moving forward with his offense and how he wants his offense to look and how he wants his offense to be coached and more importantly, how he wants his offense to be taught. And there's nothing wrong with Coach Kelly. I know I read some media say, oh, what's my coach? Yeah, he's been scoring points for all these years, and now all of a sudden, there's nothing wrong with his offense.
Many different ways.
We haven't executed as well as we need to execute, and you don't need a college football coach to tell you that. My wife, my 8-year-old son, could say that last year we moved the ball great, and we didn't execute it well in key situations that you need to execute to win football games. If we had, we'd be singing a different tune right now. So he's moving his puzzle pieces where he thinks they need to be moved, and I think everybody on the staff is all in. I think the additions that we've made are really, really going to benefit us in all areas, and we're really excited where we're heading, and we can't wait to get started here after today.
And you'll be tutoring the position group that's always the most in the spotlight. You know, as a Notre Dame fan, the most popular Notre Dame quarterback is often the next man in, the guy who's not playing.
No doubt. But I've been a Notre Dame fan a long time. I know exactly. I've probably been one of those idiots asking for the next man in, so I probably deserve what I'm getting right now.
But you got 4 guys, all of whom have tremendous potential to do great things on the field, and a leader in Tommy Reese, who no decisions have been made but has already done great things on the field.
Yeah, we're excited about the group. I'm very excited to work with them. Obviously, you'd like to have a situation where you had one guy that was guaranteed and you knew who was going to be going into spring ball, and everybody knew their roles. It's not that way at quarterback, and we got to get to that point. And the nice thing, like all the positions, it'll be decided on the field. Everybody, I don't know how many planes I've been on in the last 7 weeks. There's been a lot. And I would say on every plane flight I've been asked 3 or 4, who's going to be the quarterback? I'm like, I have no idea at this point. It'll be decided based on how they perform in spring and fall camp and who can execute Coach Kelly's offense at the highest level will be the guy there.
You know, I remember the first time I interviewed you, and we're now entering into the third season here. Your enthusiasm for being at Notre Dame was over the top. I mean, you were like a little kid. Hey, I'm at Notre Dame. You grew up in the Chicago area. Are you still as fired up to be here as you were when you got the job to come here?
Yeah, I'm probably more fired up to be here because I'm more comfortable here now, you know, and I'm you think you know Notre Dame until you get here. I knew Notre Dame as a fan. I knew Notre Dame as the brother of, you know, a brother that went here and a sister-in-law that went here. So I'd spent enough, but you really don't know everything that it's built up to be. It's that and more, you know. It's like the good movie that gets great reviews, and you go see it, it's not quite as good. But then there's the other ones that you go there and you're like, it was even better than what they said it was. And that, to me, that's what it's like in Notre Dame. And if you believe in doing it the right way, they do it the right way. And if you believe in excellence, that's what Notre Dame is. Do we hit excellence every day? No, we don't. But we're striving for excellence every day, which is rare in society today, that they put kids here that get the opportunity to be a student athlete at Notre Dame in the greatest possible position for success. And all they got to do is grab onto it and work their tail off and run with it. And if they do, the proof is there that you're going to leave here and become whatever you choose to do, it doesn't matter. You know, you don't have to get a Notre Dame degree and be the greatest doctor or greatest lawyer. You can be the greatest high school teacher. You know,
that's important. That influences a lot of lives.
You can choose whatever you want to do, but the thing you learn here is you don't cut corners. You don't ever believe you can't do it. You know, they don't ever accept like we can't be excellent. All right, but they actually show kids. You know, I like to show people the new hockey arena. Like, what does that have to do with football? It has to do with nothing. It has to do with excellence, though.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in that place, they ain't cut corners.
It's the best.
You want a hockey arena to look? This is what it's supposed to look like. Now, you may never skate. You may never go to a hockey game. But you'll be on a campus that they've taught young people, which is so important nowadays, that it's not cut this corner just to try to get ahead. It's actually, let's do it. We're going to do it right. And we're going to try to do it better than anybody in the country. And there's going to be days we do. There's going to be days we don't. But we're trying to do it better. And that's an awesome, powerful thing to teach young men and young women. And that's what Notre Dame does.
I know it's a busy day. Thank you for sharing some of your knowledge with us. And congratulations on helping coordinate the recruitment of another very, very good class. Chuck, thank you.
We're excited. Thank you.
Thank you. And you could put the Coke in the shot because Coca-Cola is a Team Notre Dame member.
I think it actually was in there.
It was in there. Outstanding product placement,
I was trying
everybody.
to get my medicine out of the shots. So.
Well, it's
my wife says that I've been sick on now 20 straight signing dates. That you just let your body.
You've left it all out there.
Yeah, she just says you let your mind relaxes in like 2 days before a signing date you start to get sick. She says it's the same every year, so I don't know if there's any truth to that, but she claims it is.
Well, if it keeps bringing in good classes, I hope you keep getting sick.
We'll have time to recuperate. Thanks.
Chuck Martin, in his 21st year in coaching, Notre Dame's offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and recruiting coordinator.